everybody, welcome at the new month of journal with us. It's the month of April, very special month for me because on the 1st of April that was the day my son was born, so we already had a little party here in our house finally after all those corona years. And well, spring is coming. Here in the Netherlands it isn't that clear yet because when I'm filming this we have had snow. So for real, we have had snow here and it's kind of cold, but as I said, spring is definitely coming. So we have some really cool news for you guys because there's a new Art Journal Specials collection coming to the stores. We just have to wait a little bit more. Probably by the end of the month of April, there will be a new collection for you guys. So Ilse and I are very proud to announce that in this journal with us. And of course, we will have some sneak previews for you in our videos. So the theme of this month is watercolor paper, so we will be working with that. And watercolor paper is so versatile because you can really use almost every media on it. You can even do acrylic on it, you can do mixed media stuff on it. I really love to use watercolor paper in my journals. So I just want to flip the camera and let you see what I have made. And of course, I hope that you like the previews that we have for you guys. I'm wishing you a very, very nice month. Hope that spring is coming in the places where you live as well. And of course, we want to see your projects. So keep tagging us in your project using the hashtags for the Art Journal Specials social media, and then I will see you next month. Thank you. Bye bye. So let's get started. I'm using my square journal where I did my previous journal with us projects in, and I'm using new stamps that are coming in our upcoming collection, and these are some really cool background stamps. And what I'm doing is I'm stamping them with Versamark ink, and I will be using some clear embossing powder for this technique that you might already know. You can also use white embossing powder because the embossing powder will be a resist for my watercolors. Here I'm just putting some of the embossing powder on the stamps so the ink won't completely dry and it won't stick anymore, and then I can see where I stamped on the watercolor paper, of course, because that's the theme for this month. Then I'm stamping another image using the embossing powder again. You can't really see it on camera, but because it's white on white, but it's definitely there, and later on you will see what I did. Here I'm using the smaller stamp just to fill some empty spaces. This way I can stamp it even better, and then of course the embossing powder goes on top of it again. And the thing with the embossing powder is that you have to heat set it just to melt it, and then it will be a plastic layer on your pages. And here I'm using my heat tool just to melt all the embossing powders that I used on my page. And as I said, of course you can also use different colors of embossing powder because then you will just have another color of a resist, but I think it's nice that you can, with the white or the clear, you have the effect of the white page underneath. So now I'm using my watercolors and I'm just going over my watercolor paper, and then you will see the images of the stamps that I just used. So I really think it's a cool technique to use in the background and quite simple. And don't we all have some embossing powders laying around from previous projects? So I think it's nice to use some products that are already in your stash. So I had these laying around, and now I'm just splattering some of the paint on top. I'm using the yellow because on the left side I have that yellowish fabric in my journal, and this way I combine the colors on both sides of my journal. Here I have some white gesso. I'm just smearing that with my fingers and really just pushing some of the color back, and I really love to use that acrylic on my backgrounds as well, as I do with some acrylic ink splatters in white this time, not black but white. That's the background for my project, and here you will see some different color of filming light because I filmed my complete project and it didn't go on my camera correctly, so I had to do it all over again. Here is a new stamp from our new collection. It's a bottle, and I'm just stamping that on watercolor paper, of course, with my StazOn ink. And here I'm stamping another new stamp. It's a house and it goes in the bottle, and I'm just using a little piece of paper so it really looks like it's in the bottle. And now I'm stamping the house on some printer paper, and I'm cutting it out because I want to use that on top of the house that I already stamped, because I want to stamp some flowers in the background, and I don't want to stamp them on top of the house, but I want to make sure that it looks like they're coming from behind it. And it's called a masking technique. You can also use like a post-it for this, because that will stick even better on your page, but for this little image this works very nice as well. So I'm using the flower stamp also in that same new stamp set, and when that's ready I'm going to color my bottle with the little house. And the way we designed this bottle, you can of course use it for all kinds of fun projects, because you can make some stamped images in them. You can use your dies to collect some really cool things in them. You can even use some real cool pictures in there just to keep memories in that bottle. So I think it's a very versatile stamp, and you can really use it over and over again in your projects. I just wanted you to show how you can use this with the stamps in the new collection. And of course, because the theme is watercolor paper, this is a really fun project to do, just some relaxed painting, because watercolor is a really fun medium for me to use. So I really love to paint, and I'm just using some brown colors for the house, for the bricks, and some for the cap of the bottle. And I'm just playing around with that paint, and I'm not really even coloring it very neatly. I just like the way it goes on there, and you leave some blank space from the paper in there, as well as your light, and you use the paint to make the shadows. I'm using some green paint for the door and the windows of the house. Home will be a thing that I will be using later, because I'm also using a little text stamp, so that's where the home comes from. And while I'm finishing my painting, the next thing I'm going to do is of course cut the image out of the watercolor paper, and I'm going to use it on my pages that I just made in my journal.
Take me on a treasure hunt. I long for something new. Have you heard the fairies when they sing and dance? Oh, I wish it was me every night.
And now the bottle is completely ready and it's time to finish these pages. I'm using some more fabric because I really like it in my journals, and with this type of fabric you can also see the background still, because I just don't want to lose all the things I did and the pretty things that are on there. So I'm just thinking of how I can put it behind the bottle, just play with it a little bit. And then I'm also using some of the new dies of our new collection that's coming, so more sneak peeks for you. And I just die cut it out of some green paper because I really like the way that it combines with the rest of the colors. I'm just playing with it and just filling it around a bit. And then I'm going to use my sewing machine, of course, because I really like doing that in my journal as well. So here I used my sewing machine just on the both sides of the bottle, and now I'm using my glue just to put everything in my journal. And the branches didn't get sewn on completely, so I just can play around with them a little bit more. You have to hold it for a little while, because with the fabric and the paper it's getting a bit heavy, so you have to work with that. I just needed a little bit more white splattering on the leaves because I thought they were a little bit dull. And here you have that stamp that I was talking about earlier, the home stamp. It's also in the new stamp set, so just putting that on this paper, and then I'm going to put it behind the bottle because I really like the text stamps. And it says love makes a house a home, and I really thought that was really cool with the little house in the bottle, and I really think that it has a really nice saying as well. So this is my finished page. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I can't wait to see you working with our collection just a little bit longer. We have to wait, and I'm wishing you a very nice day and see you later. Bye bye.